Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in once more for video number 8. This is the last one in our build series for the Revell Boss 351 Mustang, 1971 Mustang. So, car turned out pretty nice so far. We're almost done with it. This video we're going to wrap up the rest of the detailing and put it all together, and we'll do a show off and show what it looks like. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. I was kind of close to done, not quite. I posted on Facebook and kind of cat out of the bag type thing, but that's okay. You know, I was kind of getting excited. It was looking pretty cool. It was pretty much done. I thought, yeah, and I thought. So another thing too, I've been trying. I got to get caught up on my videos. Internet here is, yeah. So we found out our router is no good. So we just got a new router, and things have been a lot better. Now it says I have Wi-Fi 6. Not sure what that means, but that's what it says I have now. So I haven't got an extender, so I have internet in my garage now. Things are good. So I may do a live video or something at one time and run it out here and see how that works. Not sure yet, but I may do something like that down in the future. So other than that, we'll get back on this build here and get this finished up, and we will go from there. So take you to the bench and let's finish this car up and get it looking pretty. All right, so now at this point we can put the chassis on. It's always a nerve-wracking part. So according to instructions, you can put glue on these strips right here. So what I'm going to do is just put a little tack on there. Actually, I'm not going to put anything on. I'm just going to set this in here and see how this is going to fit. So this almost looks like it's going to be one of those super tight fits. Because this is kind of the part I hate more than anything, is putting the chassis on. Because this, when windshields pop out, tempers get flaring, things get ugly fast. So the back one is no problem. So this is where we got to do the old opener up on the sides here. Like I say, this is where the windshields pop out. That's why I didn't glue that bottom in too hard. Easy. Okay, going good so far. Everybody still intact? Oh yeah, we're all good up here. So I have a little screwdriver I use just for this purpose. Oh, there we go. Just like that. Now we gotta bring this in a little more here. Okay, got that over with. Because I hate that part. Hate it. So I gotta touch this up yet. I kind of got some stone chips on it while we're working on it. Okay guys, so I was playing this a little bit more. So there's notches right here. So when you guys are putting this on, there's a notch right here. One on each side. So it's kind of gives you that positive click in basically. So you can see it up here. So I had this sitting on top there, so all I do is slide this back a little bit and snap, it just went right into place. I thought, oh. So now you can see my fenders are lined up tight on both sides. So at this point, I'm just going to put a little CA on the corner here, one on here, same here and here, and I'm going to do a little bit right here because these inner wheel wells are touching the body. So I'm just going to give it a hit here and here, just enough to hold it in place, and that's all I'm going to do with it. So I don't like to, you know, just crank it right down to where it's like, okay, that's as far as you go, now she's there for life. So these pieces here, these will tab into these here. The spot here, so that gives you a pretty nice place to bolt them in at, so that's pretty cool. So we'll see how that goes. Alright guys, so we did a little touch of glue here, just a little spot there, there, and there, and there, and that's it. Just enough to hold it. I don't get, like I say, get carried away with it. So next per instruction, we're going to put our grill piece in. So I did set the hood on it, just because it looks super cool. Got those magic hinges that sit inside there. So our hood sits like so. So I don't usually like putting hinges on it because it always seems like they hold the hood up. See, just like this here, a little bit. But this will sit down in there if you get it just right. Like so. So like I say, we have our grill piece. So I'm going to put a little bit of CA in there just to get started. Just a little bit because I don't want it protruding past the front of this. So the reason I put the hood on is because I want to make sure the grill sits in here level, you know, because I don't want it all like down or whatever. Even though you may think it's in the right spot, I don't want it sitting in the wrong area once it's all glued down. I have to admit, this is kind of the part of the model building. I'm excited because it's getting finished, but then again, I always put this a clean towel down just so I know when I lay it on the roof, it's not going to damage anything, and I'm always checking to make sure it's dry or there's nothing down here. I've ruined a lot of models over the years, like, whoops, didn't know that was on there. What happened there? So just one of those things you got to kind of look out after. So like I said, I'm just going to put just a touch of glue towards the inside here, just enough to hold it basically. I'm probably going to have to remolital that. The only thing I don't like about molotol pens is once you touch it a few times, it's like, hey, let's dull right out. And you're going to see that top piece there too, so it's something I'm probably going to have to retouch. Not a big deal. So this guy sits in like so. So they got these two pieces here. Those are going to sit there. Guess I could tag them in with a little glue there as well. I didn't realize that. Just noticed that. Another snug fit. Pop that guy in like so. There we go. We'll close that hood down because I think the left side's got to come up just a little, not a lot, like so. We'll hold that just for a second, make sure she's good and snug. So I'm going to take this hood back off. So they give you these spots here. So along with the spot here, they also give you these little pins here. These push against here so you can only go so far with that grill. So that's kind of nice. Like I say, they got a lot of nice piece on here where it makes it to where it's only going to go so far. And that's the best you're going to get. So at this point, like I said, I was debating on this piece here if I should put that spoiler on first, like they suggest, or put this on first and then put the spoiler on after, because that sits on really nice. Then the chin spoiler just sits on here. All right, we'll get this back piece on. So those back valance, they give you little pins in this also. These are really small. So you get these little tabs here, one tab on the other side. That just clips in just inside here. So I'm just going to mock this in quick. And then the bumper will basically fill the gap. So it just sits in nicely like that. So it'll sit flush along the body line. Then there'll be a gap here and then the bumper will fill the gap on that. So we'll put just a little bit of glue in here. I mean just a little bit, because the last thing I want it to do is ooze out that way. Because when it does, good old CA, that's all she wrote. So I've been putting my initials or my name on the inside so you can see it's almost like, I don't know if you can even see it on camera. I did it in red marker. I don't know, I've been labeling them just because. Like I say, you don't need a lot on the edge, the very edge, because it does have that little bump in there to hold that in there for you. So hopefully I got just enough to hold that in place. If I can hold on to it. Get it on the right way. You're not going to see nothing because my fingers are going to be away for a minute. That side. And that side's already in. Beautiful. We'll let that set just for a second. So this bumper basically sits on the corner of this here, just the corner of the body. That's as far as it sits on there. And if you're paying attention or not, I did not put the marker lights on when I did my decals. I kind of forgot. I did get this one on though, but that's the amber one in the front, but whoops. That's all right. I still have them, so we'll get them put on in a few minutes here. So let's see, this is going to sit probably like this. Let's do a quick dry run here. Like so. Okay, so we're going to put just a touch of glue, just a little bit right here in this corner. That's going to sit against the body. Sketchy, sketchy. So I just want just a little bit in there, and I'm going to rub it around so it's thin. So when I get some big ooze pocket coming out, make sure I got nothing on the edge, because nothing like touching it and then touching the body, and you're like, oh my god, where did that come from? So I'm constantly feeling my hands, make sure everything's clean. That should be about like so. Very nice. Very nice, he says. Looking good so far. Alright, now we'll move the front. Alright guys, so I did decide to glue it on. So how I end up doing that, I tried it a couple different ways. So actually with that flat spot, I took a little bit of my C8 and I just very, very, very lightly put on the inside here. And basically just held this on the edges. Just held this with one corner of the spoiler, and I just slowly walked it just so I had it level along that line. Got it pushed in, and I do have a little bit of bleed underneath here, not too bad. Not that you're probably gonna see that anyways, really. So, and then I took my Q-tip, like I say, I spray a little bit of the Bob Smith Industries accelerator in there, hit it with the Q-tip, just wiped it, and then there we go. So that is on. So I just, as long as I made sure the top half wasn't done up anyway, I was okay with that. That was good times. It wasn't as bad as it seemed, but it could have been easier. So this should be pretty much obviously cured at this point. Now that's got the spoiler on it, so it's probably going to sit on here different. So that side sits really good. This side, a little issue. It's alright, we'll work these out. So what we're going to do is get some glue in there and glue that down. That looks super cool. You look up cool in the dictionary, there's a picture of that spoiler on there. Alright, we're going to put a little bit of glue in here and go from there. So that's going to require a little bit of adhesion help. So I'm actually going to glue on the inside here because I don't want the glue on this side of it. So as in case I miss my mark and I hit here, it'll wipe it down the front of that body. So I'm going to try to keep it on the back side and go from there. So let's see if we can get this down here. Just make sure you guys are still on. Once again, just a little bit here. So I'll take and put just a little bit in there, and I'll take a toothpick and kind of rub the rest of it in. Set that off to the side. Give me some Bob Smith ready to go here. Yes, sir. Give me a couple of Q-tips on staff here. All right, gotta get things ready. Like I said, we'll just easy wipe that down. That's not the big old chunk out front. Okay, looking good in the neighborhood. Alright, one spoiler to go. This will be our last intense piece, other than our mirrors, which I think the mirrors look like they'll be pretty easy going. There's that side. Make sure we're lined up good. There we go, popped into place. Very nice, very nice. Alright, let me get these mirrors out and I'll bring you back in. Alright guys, so I got that front bumper on. Almost looks like that needs to go up higher, but it can't because it'll be up in the headlights. I mean, it fits alright, but it just seems like, yeah, I mean, I'm still happy with it. It still looks good. Still looks good. So I got left is the door handles and the mirrors. So I got my mirrors out, and I might have to put just a touch of red on it. I'm gonna set them on there and see if I can go that route. But I'm gonna put the door handles on, and I'm gonna give it a quick wipe down, just kind of get off the rest of the fingerprints, stuff like that, from handling it, from working on it, all that good stuff. So I have my handles here. So I'm gonna basically just set them in here and just kind of mock them in, just make sure they fit good. Make sure I don't have to do any carving. So I can see right there the bottom of that has a little bit of a mark in that. So I need to take and shave that out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put those in with just a touch of super glue. How I can do that is I put a little bit on this toothpick, just enough to hold it. Well, it don't take much to hold that in there. Drop her in the hole. Give a little squeezy squeeze. And voila, one handle. Alright, do the same to this side. We should be good. Kind of go from there. So the instructions have you put the wheels on it like way back when. I usually don't put the wheels on until I'm done with it, until the build's completely done. Because I find with the wheels on it, sometimes it's really hard to put that body on. I don't know if it's just me or if you guys experience that yourself. But that's what I run into. So I wait on that. So I'm going to give it a quick coat of polish. And then we will get the mirrors on and the tires. And I'll put that spoiler on last. Throw the hood on it and we'll do a final reveal. Okay guys, so we got those mirrors on. So what I did is I used the canopy glue on this. I didn't want to use super glue. I was a little nervous on it. So I just dipped this toothpick in, just walked a little line across there, tweezers on there, and set them in, and they held in real nice. So we got it cleaned up a little bit with some polish. I just basically wiped down just enough to get the fingerprints off. So we just got to get that spoiler put in. And I took a Molotow across the wipers. And the other thing I know I got to finish is I never did paint the air cleaner yet because I ran out of blue paint. So that's actually still sitting here in white. Can you imagine that? So I'll get that painted up quick. I'm probably just going to use Tester's blue. I don't have anything else here. I think I can use it's close. How that'll work. And I didn't put my upper radiator hose in. My holes stay true here. Take our rear spoiler. Like I said, the flat side goes towards the front. And we'll set that in there, make sure we sit nice. Yes, sir. Yes, that's good. Okay. Put some glue in that and we'll get that drilled down. Alright guys, so we get these tires on and I just got the air cleaner painted. We should be about done with this bad boy. So I got my spoiler on the back. Looking nice. I don't really care if my model rolls or not. That's just less chance of it rolling off a shelf, I guess, if we go along with that route. So if it's secure and it don't go anywhere, I'm completely okay with that. Those decals look pretty good on there. So a little dab, that's all we need. I always try not to line the lettering right up just like the other side. Give it a little difference. Okay, there we have it. Pretty good, pretty good. Now the magic thing is, does it sit flat? That's the next thing. Now we got a little wobble. Built-in feature. Why it's still can maybe cure that. It's not too bad there. Okay. Alright guys, this is our big reveal. This is the final on this car. So I did add the window decals that come to kit. It's a Ford Race Team and a Hearst shifter decal to go along with that cool looking interior. Like I say, this turned out really nice. I'm really happy with this. So give a little spin on the carousel here. So pretty happy with this. Like I mentioned, if you guys hadn't watched the earlier videos, that hood stripe, that does not line up per instructions. They want you to measure it, I think it's 3.8 from the edge of the black to the edge of the hood. So you can see how tight it is on the sides and how far away I am from the front of the hood. So yeah, I basically just cut that short and set the decal in place because the decal's cut out for the pins, for your hood pins. So it was a good place to measure it and go from there. So once I figured that position, I could easily tell that it wasn't going to go down far enough to use the measurements they said. So I just kind of gauged it and just set it up there and just started running some tape and voila, there we go. So it worked out pretty good. So yeah, so the thing looks pretty nice. If you guys have built the MPC or even the AMT kit, which is pretty much the same car, if you built that kit and made it through it, I mean, that to me, that's kind of a tough kit. This will be a dream for you. I mean, you would love this kit and you'll build many to come because this is just phenomenal compared to that kit. I mean, I'm talking there's like no night and day different. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this. The paint come out nice. Everything come out really cool in it. Like I say, the taillights, I like how everything come out real good there. I put the Tasca Ford logo on the back as if you bought it from the dealership at Tasca Ford. Makes me wonder how much money they give to Revell to put that name on there. Either way, very cool. So yeah, so this turned out pretty nice. So once again, that hood is a Tamiya semi-gloss lacquer, and the car is candy apple red MCW enamel, and I use the MCW enamel clear coat over the whole thing after the car was wet sanded, and then I use Meguiar's polish because I did have a nice dimple in the hood, and I had a dimple in the hood here right in the middle, and then I had one in the roof line. The roof, actually, there's still a small dimple in there. You got to look at it just right. Let me see if I can find it for you. I'm showing you my flaws here, guys, because this is just how things really happen. Yeah, look just carefully and you can find it. Oh, I can see it. It's kind of right here. Right there. It's a little kind of dimple there. That used to be like a crater size, like fill it full of milk and drink it out of a straw type thing. It was huge. So I wet sanded that down. But I could tell by the way how deep that was, that went all the way to the paint, almost like there was a spot of, I don't know, grease or something on it. I'm not sure what it was, but I knew if I would have wet sanded that all the way down and then tried to polish it, I would have had a ring here from the from the clear coat and a ring from the paint. It would not have matched. So that's why I left it. Didn't want to go any further because obviously at this point the car is already decaled and I didn't want to repaint. I could have just reshot the hood or the roof, but I just didn't want to go there. So like I say, other than that, the car turned out pretty nice. Really happy with it. And like I say, guys, very nice builder. Real nice kit. I love the front end on this car. It looks very realistic, very, very real looking. And it doesn't take much to get it there. You know, it's not like say, the other brand out there. It's like I said, it was a nice kit, nice builder. I have a few issues with it, but before I tell you some of the do's and don'ts and the flaws that I ran across, let me show you the bottom. So that's the bottom of the car. So this car is basically, like I say, it's just box stock, like I showed you a second ago. I didn't do nothing magic, it's just all paint work. So now, let me tell you about some of the flaws I had with it. Now I probably got fingerprints on it and I need to wipe it down. I need to wax it. Like I say, that's just polished. It's not waxed or anything, so I think wax will really make it pop. So my biggest flaw, first and foremost, number one, the rearview mirror. It was horrible. Multiple things. First, I think it's out of scale. I don't think it's the right size for the car. Two, the arm they have going on to the glass, that's way too long. And three, the mirror should be up higher. If you look at prototype pictures, that mirror should be just underneath that chrome. So the mirror is actually way too low in the windshield. So now doing another one of these kits in hindsight, because I have another one here that I'm going to get started on here in a little bit. I would take that mirror and I would cut that arm off and leave just a little bit on there, and then glue it to the glass. If it wasn't for that arm hanging out there, and that's part of the mirror because the way they have it attached to the tree, it's attached from the sides, so the arm just hangs off to the edge. So that was my biggest complaint of the kit, was that. To me, that's the only thing that doesn't look 100% like it should. So that's the only thing I'm not overly crazy about. Second thing was the bottom valance here. It was okay. It wasn't the funnest thing to put on. It was kind of tricky to get it maneuvered in the right spot and hold it and glue it and all that stuff. Obviously, once you get it on there, it's not too bad. So I had kind of a challenge putting that on. I didn't show you much in the video. You know, in the video, it's like, oh, hey, this pops right on. Well, it wasn't quite like that. I didn't want to bore you with, you know, a half-hour video and me talking to the model in ways I shouldn't have and telling you that everything's okay and all that good stuff. So other than that, that wasn't too bad. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. I've seen worse things. Now, another dislike of the kit I didn't think was very nice is the front bumper. The front bumper in my kit did not line up very well. It looks good here, but it took a lot of like shimming and all that good stuff. So you see the front corner up here. That fits decent. Then you get the gap on this side. Like I said, I'm just telling my problems I had with it, guys, so you can look for it to correct it in your model. So it's a little further away here. So when you put the grill in, the grill has definite stops, so it only goes back so far. You can't mess that up. I mean, it's got locks in it all the way on all four corners, so it's pretty hard to mess it up. I guess you could if you really wanted to, but it's doable. So in order to put that bumper up as high as I would think it'd need to go, you'd be over the headlights. So see how I got them sitting down just below the headlights? But you can see on the side here, that bumper actually could go up quite a bit higher. So if the grill wasn't in there, the bumper actually fits in there really nice. You know, and I'm thinking to myself, what, I got the bumper on the wrong side? Do I got the rear bumper on? You know, but that was a little bit of, I took that on and off a couple times. Now, if I would have maybe taken the bottom of that and shaved that a little bit, I think that would have fit a little nicer. So that was another thing. Back bumper, all the rear valance, everything in there fit like a glove. I mean, just beautiful. I couldn't ask for a better fit on any of the pieces in the back. Fit really, really nice. So other than that, I mean, the rest of the kit was a nice builder, except for when we were under the hood here. Let's see, maybe they'll stay up. That's kind of cool. I like those hood. That's really neat. So the back firewall, glue that on before you do anything else. You can get that glued on first and then paint it. So I painted mine after the fact, but you can glue it on before and you'll be fine. So by doing that, and the other thing I found, I had to trim the back of my pin on my transmission just a little bit, just to get it to crawl under there. Because other than that, you could have put that on first, the engine in first, then the firewall, and that would have fit a lot better. So that was my other. The glass fit really nice. Those quarter windows fit very nice. All that was very nice fit. Everything goes in from the inside. So the glass was a real nice install. So other than that, nice kit. Highly recommend it, guys. I mean, get yourself one. It goes together phenomenally nice. I mean, very, very nice. So, and the other thing, watch out for those decals. I pretty much threw mine away. So they put Firestone on one side and Wide Oval on the other side. And when they're on the decal sheet and you start cutting decals out, you really never know that those decals are on there unless you're really looking for them. So be careful of that, or troubles will come in your way. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap this up, and that's my do's and don'ts with it. I had a few spots I had to drill out to make it a little easier, and drill that spoiler out ahead of time, get that mocked up. That made life a lot easier, all that good stuff. So, but other than that, the rest of the car was a nice builder. And my other thing I did was the hood pins. If you set them in per instructions, at least mine was, the hood pins sat way high. So I sanded mine down and just put them in the hole. And I like them more flush because that's kind of how they were. They popped up once you released them. But they kind of sat flush to that point. So that worked out really good by doing that. So yeah. Alright guys, so that's our build on this bad boy. Like I say, very nice kit. It was very fun to build, and I really can't wait to get on another one. So yeah, so if you guys are heading down to the Acme show, which I'm still planning on heading down there, this should be sitting on the table down there. So you guys will be able to see it if you're down that area coming up in late October. I will have this car sitting down there. So once again, guys, I appreciate you guys checking out the channel and tuning in and following along on these builds. Like I say, it's kind of a little longer series than I wanted to run, but you know, it takes time to build one of these. You guys know that. So if you want to make it look nice, these are the things you have to do. Just the way it is. So once again, guys, I appreciate it, and you guys have a good one, and thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next build.